Hi, welcome back to my channel Tech Trivia. I'm Siddharth. There are many people requesting me to start sharing the development topics as well. So I decided to record a video on admin as well as on development topics on every alternate week. So today we are going to learn all about SOQL and SOSL. Now, SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language, and SOSL stands for Salesforce Object Search Language. So the basic differences between these two are one, SOSL is used, it's a search language, right? So it's used to find data from multiple objects, even if they are not related to one another. Whereas SOQL is used to find data from an object or only from the related object. And two, SOSL returns the result in list of list format because the data might be fetched from more than one objects. And in SOQL, the result is written in the list format. Now, queries are part of Apex language, and so it's a case insensitive. So it really doesn't matter which case you're writing in, but we follow best practices. So I'm going to highlight a few points, and I insist you guys to follow that coding guideline. This is all about the theory that you should know before you jump into the practical. So let's log in Salesforce and see how we can efficiently write SOSL and SOQL. All right, so once you guys log in, you need to click on the gear icon from top right corner and click on the developer console. So once the developer console is open, in the bottom left corner, you'll see query editor option. Click on that, and then you'll see a box that says enter SOQL or SOSL query. So let's take an example for SOSL. So we're going to start with find. Once you type the query, click on execute button, and you notice the data is fetched from the account object. I have an account with as force as a word. Now if I change it to United, you notice there are two tabs. Let me zoom in a bit so that you guys can see that. Account tab shows 5 different accounts, and there is another tab opportunity, and that 10 opportunity that has got United World. Now, SOSL is text-based search, so the word that you are trying to search are going to be searched in the text fields only. And we are using API names for the objects and fields. You can also optionally add the where clause in SOSL to narrow down the result. So for example, if you look at opportunities, there are a few of them are closed won. What if I just wanted to fetch those opportunities which are closed won and contains United World? So I'm gonna just modify the query. Just bring in a stage name equals closed won. If I execute now, and now you see it displays 5 accounts and 6 opportunities, and all of them are closed won. So that is it about SOSL. Let me break this query down and explain you so that you guys can easily understand it. All right, so first part of the query is the first statement is a find and the keyword that you put in the curly braces. So basically you are searching for United World. That's the required statement. All other statements are optional statements. Now, the next statement is you're going to define the scope for the fields to search within. So there are a few options. Right now I'm using in all fields. You can also use in name fields, in email fields, and if you do that, then the search engine is going to search the word only in that certain type of fields. And the third statement is the returning statement where you can just write object name, comma separated. And after object name, you have parentheses and you add all of the fields that you want to see in the result. And you notice we are using the API names for the objects and the fields. All right, so I hope it's clear to you now. Now let's start looking into SOQL. Now SOQL starts with select statement. So select. All right, so this is a simple query. Let me execute it. So I'm saying that show me all accounts with three fields, ID, name, and annual revenue. Now you look at annual revenue, uh, it's an API name without space. All right, now you notice a list of accounts appear in the result and three columns. All right, so what if I wanted to just filter the result and I want to see only the accounts where the annual revenue is greater than zero. So I'm gonna add a very close where annual revenue is greater than zero. And if I execute this, you notice only nine accounts appears the annual revenue. There is a value for each of these accounts. All right. Now I just wanted to sort the result. So I'm gonna add order by annual revenue. When I click on execute, you notice the result is sorted based on the value in annual revenue. It's ascending order. I want to see the result in descending order, so I'm gonna just type DSC, and now you see all these accounts are sorted in the descending order of annual revenue, right? Now I'm gonna just add one more clause. I just want to see five accounts. So I just add limit five, and you notice this query brings top five accounts by revenue. All right, great. So let me quickly explain all these statements. So an SOQL has two required statements, select and from. So whenever you are dealing with any sort of SOQL, no matters how long it is, always try to find select and from statements. Select statement gives you an idea that which fields are retrieved in this query, and the from statement gives you an idea that the data is retrieved from which object. The other statements are optional statements. That means a query may or may not have those statements. We are using the where clause to filter the result. Then we used order by clause to sort the result. We explicitly want to sort it in descending order. So therefore we use DESC keyword. For ascending order, by default it will always sort in ascending, but if you wanted to explicitly mention the direction, then you can just write ASC, that stands for ascending. And the last statement we used here is limit 5. So from the from all the accounts, we are gonna just get top 5 accounts by revenue. I hope it's clear. Now next, let's talk about how you can write the relationship query. So before that, let's understand what is the relationship. Please add your comment on this video if you want me to record a separate video that explains all about the relationship. different types of relationship, advantages of relationship, best practices, etc. So for now, let's take an example of account and contact object. Now these two objects are related with account lookup field exist on contact. So the contact object identifies its parent and account identifies its child by a unique property of that relationship field. So from contact, when we want to fetch the related account that's a related parent, we use the relationship name. And from account, when we want to fetch data of its child, uh, in this case is contact, we use the child relationship name. I'm also going to demonstrate the relationship queries for custom objects because the syntaxes are slightly different. So let's get started. So this is one of my another org where I have custom objects created. So either you create those objects and fields or you just try out the queries for the standard objects that I'm going to include in the video description. All right, so let's start with the standard object query. And let's say I want to fetch opportunities data with the related accounts data. This is a simple SOQL with just two statements, select and from. So I'm saying select ID, comma name, comma account ID. Now account ID is the relationship field on opportunity, and the from statement says opportunity object. So if I click on execute button, you'll see it shows me list of opportunities with the three fields that I added in my SOQL query. Now, if I just wanted to fetch data from its parent as well, I'm gonna type account.name, account.annual revenue, account.industry. And if I hit execute, you notice that six in total. First three columns are fetched from opportunity object itself because these three fields are exist on opportunity. But last three columns like name, annual revenue, and industry are fetched from the account object. That's basically the parent. All right. Now let me break this query down for you for better understanding. So what we are using here is in the select statement after account ID field, what we are using is after comma we are writing account.name. Here, account is the relationship name using which opportunity can see fields of account, fields of its parent object. So that's a relationship name, dot notation, and the field of account that you want to add in the result. And similarly, we are also fetching account.annual revenue and account.industry. So name, annual revenue, and industry fields are fetched from the parent object. Now let's quickly write a query for a custom object as well. All right. Now this query is fetching all of the students with its related teacher details. Now in my case, many of students are not linked with teacher yet. So let me add a where clause to exclude them from the result. So where see. All right, now I just have two students that are linked with the teacher. So let's read the query. Similar to the previous query, I'm using select ID, comma name, comma teacher underscore C. That's basically a lookup field created on student object. Underscore C because it's a custom field. And then I'm using the same field name, replacing C with R to make it a relationship name so that I can fetch the fields of teacher object. That's a parent object, right? So teacher underscore underscore R dot name. Uh, Similarly, teacher underscore underscore R dot start underscore date underscore C because that's a custom field. And similarly also end date by teacher underscore R dot end date underscore C, right? Where close I added because to exclude uh, those students which are not linked with the teacher. That's how you can run your relationship query on the child object, and you also can fetch data of its parent. Now, next we're going to see how you can write a query on the parent object and also fetch its child object. We're going to start with the standard object query first. So select, all right, so this is the query on account object that also fetches the related opportunities. It looks like select name, comma, annual revenue, comma, industry, then there is a comma, and then I'm adding an inner query, a subquery. All right. Select name, comma, amount, comma, stage name from opportunities. And then there is a final from statement that's on account. If I click on execute, you notice first three columns are fetched from the account object, and the last column is basically all related opportunities. You notice the fourth column is displaying in a JSON format. So there might be more than one opportunities. So you can see it's coming as an array. All right. So in the subquery, I'm using opportunities. What is that? That's a child name, child relationship name, because that's how account identifies its child object. In this case, is opportunity. All right. Now let me quickly write a query for a custom object as well. Right. So in this example, I am running query on teacher object and fetching ID, name, and start date from the teacher object. And then I'm using a subquery where I'm fetching ID and name from the student object. Now this is basically the child relationship name. Now where you can find this name, you find the child relationship name on the relationship fields. So let me show you that quickly. So if you go in setup, object manager, so I'm using student. So I'm gonna type student. I open it, then fields and relationships. You notice there is a lookup field that links to teacher. That's a teacher underscore underscore C. If I open that field, right hand side you'll see the child relationship name, and that is my students. So what I added here is my students underscore underscore R because it's a custom relationship, right? Let me quickly show you for the opportunity as well. So let me search for opportunity and then click on fields and relationships. Here, account ID, account name is a field. Look up to account. And if you open that, right inside you notice child relationship name. And therefore, we used opportunities in our previous query, right? So I think everything is so good so far. If you are liking the content, then please hit the like button and also share this video with other people. So now we are going to learn join queries. And one of the very common use case is you want to fetch all those accounts where there are related opportunities. So in this case, you are basically pulling accounts based on account ID presence on opportunity records. So let's check in the developer console how we can write join queries. All right, so we're gonna start with select name, comma annual revenue, comma industry from account, where ID in, then select account ID from opportunity. Now what will happen here is this query will brings all account IDs from opportunity records. And then your main query will be executed and because you are writing that in the where clause, so the result of your main query will be filter and it only shows those account which IDs are present in account IDs brought by your second query. Let me execute it. And there you go. You can also add a where clause in your opportunity query. So I can say where stage name equals to closed won. I'm saying that uh, bring account IDs from all closed won opportunities and then show revenue and industry. We execute and show you that. Now these are the accounts which got one or more closed won opportunities. This is an example of a semi-join. Now I can also say that get me those accounts which do not have any closed won opportunity related. So what I can do is I can simply add not before in. So I'm saying that where ID not in the list that you are bringing from opportunity object, right? So it's a simple query with select and from statement in the where clause. The key here is the where clause. So you are simply filtering your result of the query by using additional query on opportunity and also you are adding a where clause stage name equals to closed one. So that will work. So this is an example of a reference join where you are simply checking ID in a relationship field. Right? So similarly, you can also write the field join, something like where name in, and then you can give a list of hard-coded values, something like Salesforce, Jenny point, etc. If I execute it, you'll see this query returns only those accounts where the name is either Salesforce or Jenny point. And if I say not in, it simply brings all of the accounts which name is neither Salesforce nor Jenny point. All right, so this is all you need to know about SOSL and SOQL. I have tried to explain all these queries in a simplest way so that a beginner level developer can easily understand and use. If you have any suggestions, then please drop a comment. And if you are watching the video till this point and you are enjoying the content, then please hit the like button to motivate me to prepare more and more such a learning videos. And if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to it and hit the bell icon to get notification for all my upcoming videos. So this is all for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week with a new learning video. Happy learning!